What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Payne with Facemask Fantasy, and for the duration of the NFL playoffs, I'll be highlighting some fantasy, news, and notes for each matchup in the event you plan to play DFS or any NFL playoff challenges. Up now, the Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Kansas City on Sunday in what is likely to be Ben Roethlisberger's final NFL game to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Kansas City is the 2 seed in the AFC. Pittsburgh needed some things to fall their way in the last week of the season, and that's exactly what happened after they beat Baltimore and wrapped up the final playoff spot in the conference. It's a lopsided matchup on paper, but that doesn't mean there aren't fantasy studs to choose from for DFS lineups. So who in this game is worth a look? At quarterback, Mahomes is a very safe QB1 year in, year out at this point, but he wasn't the most consistent this year. He had 7 games with at least 3 passing touchdowns, but he also had 5 games where he threw 1 score or fewer. It's a so-so matchup by the numbers, and with Mahomes likely being one of, if not the highest priced quarterback on the slate based on reputation, the smart money is to pass on him and look elsewhere. That's probably what I'm going to do. As for Roethlisberger, this is looking like his swan song. The Steelers are heavy underdogs in this game, and Big Ben is expected to call it a career when Pittsburgh's playoff run is over. He's not the strong option for fantasy that he used to be, but Kansas City is giving up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks the past 4 weeks. If you think Roethlisberger can slop together a QB1 performance that might not look good on the field but might work itself out in the box score because the Steelers are throwing all game long, go for it, but that's your call. It's hard to have a ton of confidence in Big Ben at this point. At running back, Najee Harris is likely to be one of the most expensive options at the position this week as he gets funneled volume. The Chiefs aren't a shutdown unit against backs, and it's very likely Harris catches a few passes if game script goes as expected. He is questionable to play with an elbow injury, but he practiced on Friday. If he goes, you can fire Harris up if you believe in the volume, but he's going to be expensive. Just be aware. If you prefer a cheaper alternative, you'll have to move quickly, but Darrell Williams on the other side in this game presents that option. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been ruled out for this game, so Williams' salary for daily contests is about to go up if it hasn't already. He's been rock solid as a fill-in starter for Kansas City, and Pittsburgh has been incredibly vulnerable to running backs this year. I really like Williams as an RB2 or flex option this week. At wide receiver, Tyreek Hill will also be one of the highest priced options at his position this weekend. He did almost nothing when these two teams faced off back in Week 16, but he also didn't really have to because it was a blowout in the Chiefs' favor. It's not a good matchup, but Hill is also matchup proof. He's going to need a monster Tyreek Hill game to make his price worth it, so I might look elsewhere for wide receiver, but it's understandable wanting to fire up a top 3 option with slate-busting upside. The ancillary wide receivers here, Demarcus Robinson, Mecole Hardman, Byron Pringle, probably shouldn't be considered, even though hitting on the right contrarian plays are what often lead to profits in DFS. Make that call at your own risk. On the other side, Deontay Johnson has been fantastic this season, and he figures to be heavily involved in a game where the Steelers will probably be trailing. The Chiefs are giving up top 3 wide receiver production the past 4 weeks, so I'm perfectly fine with getting Deontay in your lineup. I can't say the same about Chase Claypool, though, who has had a very up and down season. Some of that can be contributed to Roethlisberger's declining abilities, but Claypool hasn't helped himself either, not coming down with more 50-50 balls. With only 2 touchdowns on the season, Claypool is a major risk despite the good matchup. At tight end, Travis Kelce is the tight end 1 on a slate that includes George Kittle and Darren Waller. He's got 4 touchdowns in his last 3 games played and is as safe an option as there is. This, of course, will be baked into his incredibly high price, though. Because of the volatility of the tight end position, I'm fine taking the plunge on Kelce, but you will be thinner finding salary for other lineup options. Finally, Pat Freiermuth had himself a very good rookie season with over 400 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns. He was a strong pickup for a lot of redraft leagues with at least 4 catches in 7 of his 9 games played in the second half of the season. Freiermuth's a low-end tight end option in a crowded slate with plenty of strong options, but his ownership might be low as a result of those options. If he comes through in a game where the Steelers will be throwing a lot, he could pay dividends as somewhat of a contrarian play for those that don't invest in a top top option at the position. That's all I got as far as news and notes for the Chiefs and the Steelers. What do you guys think? Put any thoughts you have in the comment section below. We also host live streams on our channel all off season long. You can come hang with us Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Any dynasty questions you may have or any other general topics you may be interested in. Till then, this is Nick Payne with Facemask Fantasy. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening.